Trump doubles down. If you haven't heard the news, you live under a rock, and I'm a little jealous. I'd rather not have to see all this crazy stuff, but here we are. Yesterday, a man from Maine tried to run down an ICE agent, and then, through the consequences of his own actions, he's no longer alive. They put remote staplers through his windshield, and now he's not there anymore. He did it to his own daughter. His own daughter was in the car. Why a man who would do that to his own daughter was in the country, we don't know. But he's not there anymore. And then what happened was apparently some guy in ICE has just decreed, well, the administration will not be in ICE enforcing traffic stops anymore. We're going to stop that. We're going to pussy out. And Donald Trump said, who the fuck said that? He got pissed, is the rumor. Was very angry to hear about that, and then came out swinging, tweeting on his strange platform that no, they're going to keep doing this. Honestly, I can't imagine being an ICE officer right now, getting your orders from the president, hitting refresh on True Social. It'd be terrible. But he did the one thing that I've been criticizing him for since day one. He has been unwilling to come down and actually even just grasp that when you back down to these psychos, they keep doing it. Well, what does he put in this tweet? Once we do, we are playing right into the criminals' hands. I love this line. Like, it's got to be framed on and put on a wall somewhere. This is exactly what's happening. The illegal immigrants, you got to recognize when they come to your country and they try to flee and they try to run your ICE agents down, not only is that a complete, not only are they here illegally, but that is a complete disrespect to the ownership of your own nation. It is a claim to be here. That is what they are doing is saying that they've conquered you and that you owe them, and then you're their serf. And all of these people, every single last one, needs to get out. Okay? The story is apparently another one happened today, and I'm just so glad to hear it, because that means that these ICE agents got balls of steel and are coming in and finally putting the boot down on all of these invaders, okay? So I'm just so glad to hear this. You know, all of these people, they're just coming into the country. I mean, Trump's saying like 25 million under Biden alone. It was like 130 million according to Greg Bovino, which again, I'll criticize Trump for because Greg Bovino is out because of Donald Trump. Greg Bovino is saying, oh no, it's actually 130 million because you got to count all the people who came in here under previous administrations. And then you look at, we got an example just yesterday again. The guy was actually, he had, what was it? Pounds of meth in his trunk. That's what he was doing. He was in the United States for 35 years trafficking meth. Okay? These people don't belong here. They don't belong in our glorious country, our glorious homeland. Now for the sad part, okay? I'm just going to hard transition to it. The sad part is that there's a lot of these people. The rate that these are coming in, Trump's not projected to meet even 20% of them by the end of his term, and that's 20% of even just the people who came under Sleepy Joe Biden alone. Remember, this is why I keep talking. Remember, you are in the long haul for it. Your job is to endure and keep going. Your job is to recognize that things are going to get hard. They're going to keep getting hard. They're going to get worse and worse every single day until you have the stones, you have the strength to speak your own mind and come in with the boot, the law enforcement boot. Remember, crazy people want you to be violent. I'm going to keep reiterating that because everyone, you go into any of these chats and there's always some dude, you can't tell if he's a glowy or a retard, but there's always that one dude who's screaming shit. Remember, that plays into their hands. that plays into the psycho's hands. They want you to do that so that they can foment a revolution against you. Never fall for these people's tricks, okay? Remember, you have to speak, you have to push the Overton window, and you have to allow the federal government to track with what you do. That is a statement from Thomas Paine himself, not in his exact words, but Thomas Paine himself said that the government is just simply a reflection of the people. It is a reflection of the people there. It is a reflection of their values. The government is just the manifestation of how a society conducts itself. Okay? What you need to do if you want things to change, if you want Trump to keep escalating and push the United States back to where it's supposed to be, dominant of Earth, what you need to do is you need to keep pushing that Overton window. What you want to happen, like I said, the government is just a manifestation of how a society conducts itself. You need to push society into how you want it to conduct itself if you want the government to behave the way you want. Okay? When the government says, "Oh, we're going to bow down. We're not going to push so hard. We're going to keep Social Security," that's because it believes the common people, the people who actually make things happen, the reason the lights turn on every day, that's because they believe that's what the American people believe. Okay? So you need to push them and you need to say, no, we don't even tolerate a single immigrant in this country. The idea of immigrating into the United States when we have our own glorious nation that we built ourselves, when you can say, no, none. And when you can push it to say, no, we'll push them out. We'll get them out. We'll just arrest them and we'll just do whatever they're doing back to them if they try to resist. We're going to get rid of every single last one. When you make that the societal norm, that is when things change. So you need to keep pushing. You've got a lot of generations that are still there clinging to the Social Security checks, clinging to ideas of somehow Gen Z was born with silver spoons in their mouth, even though the lady who said that is a Gen Z and married a 60-year-old man for gold digging reasons, obviously. The reason why they're saying that is because that's the world they live in, and they're going to have to be outnumbered. Okay? So you need to have endurance. Remember, everything you do, when you keep screeching and when you keep chimping out and when you refuse to stop, when you refuse to shut up when they tell you to, when you're willing to say, I will lose my job because I'm not going to be told what to think, when you're going to say, I will put myself at risk for what I believe, this is what you get. Trump doing exactly what the American people wanted. There is an end in sight. It's a long way away, but there is an end in sight. So keep going. I'm loving hearing it. I was very, very doomer in my last video on this, but I'm loving it. If you like my message, I want true American masculinity back, not some BS. Oh, you're prettier, or oh, you're based trad or whatever. I want men to actually be men, and that is my goal here. To tell you that you can actually speak, to tell you that you can think what you think. I'm setting an example, and if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button, whatever. Just mash your mouse until it breaks. Don't even have to hit the like button, okay? I'll catch you all later.